witty.
Good evening, race fans. Yes, we are ready. Welcome in to the penultimate race of the season, the final race of the round of 12. As always, here with my co-commentator in the booth. How we doing tonight?
I'm excited to be here at non-existent Auto Club Speedway in real life, getting turned into a short track.
Most likely a parking lot and or some commercial property. Nevertheless, we're here at Auto Club. Really glad we at least get to do it in the virtual sense. Here for 2 laps of qualifying to set the grid for the 100-lap main event. Stage break, lap 25, as always, 70% fuel capacity. Gives these drivers an estimated fuel run of 28 to 32 laps, give or take just a little bit, depending on how aggressive they run. 4 total sets of tires, 1 starter, 3 in the pits, 0 fast repairs, and 3 green-white checkers, as always.
Ryan Tiller saying we're in for a tough race tonight. I mean, he got a top 3 last night on a 2-mile track.
Indeed he did. At Michigan, obviously in the next gens, if you watched the ARS race last night, so we'll see if that translates over to Auto Club in the Xfinity cars, but it is time for qualifying. And who's going to be the first man off of pit road? It looks like it'll be Mark Whitley in the 77. He'll get his qualifying effort underway here, the outlap. 2 laps to try and set a time at the top of the table. He comes into tonight as your championship leader, looking to punch his ticket to the championship floor. He's been dominant this season, 5 wins. And he is on fire. Looking to make it 6 from 14 as he sets off his first lap. Let's go on board. Left side tire right on that first seam. It'll always be loose on exit here at Auto Club, Fontana, whatever you like to call it. Down the back straightaway, very bumpy as they head off into turn number 3. Nearly 190 miles an hour solo. You can drive it in really deep, hope that it sticks. Turn 4 exit really jumps out at you. This looks like a pretty tidy lap, all things considered. It'll be good enough for on his first lap. As he crosses a line of 40.405. Glenn Murphy Jr. 10th and a half off.
I mean, he is the first one to cross line, so he is, of course, P1, but he does set a pretty solid time, better than any time in practice.
See if he's able to improve on his second lap. Kyle Ritchie slots in second. He's looking to punch his ticket to the championship floor as well. Another one of the championship 4 contenders, Jonathan Mazzella, looking for another big night here. First lap 41-1, so he's obviously going to look to improve on his second lap as Whitley crosses the line. Let's see if he improves.
Ooh.
Not able to improve. 40.5 on the second lap. Nobody else has broken into the 40.4 second bracket.
Glenn Murphy has, and Shorts has.
Insta jinx. But it is still Mark Whitley on his first lap. The time to beat. Mazzella, second lap. 40.60. Goes 7th. William K. Price finally broke through last week and claimed a win at Legacy Atlanta.
Yeah, Willie's been saying drivers have fun while he was gone. He's come back. He's going to shut that down. He's going to make sure he goes into the final race of the season potentially as the points leader. Not that points will matter in the final race, but it's always nice to be like, yeah, I led the points going into the final race.
Comes Mike DeWalt for his first lap, the 9 machine. Crosses the line. It'll be a 40.59. James Goodwin about to finish his first lap as well in the 11 machine. Good enough for P13. Cade Ferguson also on his warm-up lap. And he'll be the last one to get all the time in, it looks like. 7/10 separate Mark Whitley to Larry McDonald. It'll just be one lap here for Cade Ferguson. Won't have time to complete the second one, but Mark Whitley set his time on the first lap, so might as well go guns blazing here. In the 28, so it looks like we'll have 21 drivers here. Daniel Hashey and Jared Lindsay not electing to qualify. We'll see if they grid up. This is the final timed lap here, Cade Ferguson. In the 28 machine through 3 and 4 for the final time, way down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Trying to carry the momentum on the exit, 40.405, the time to beat. And cross the line just barely in time. It looks like this will be good enough for 17th quickest, 40.88. As that will do it for qualifying. Mark Whitley, another pole. He is looking to go the distance. 21 drivers here tonight. And let's show you the points, what everybody's dealing with, what everyone's trying to do, the scenarios to get in. Mark Whitley comes into the night. The only man in the 1100 bracket, 1100 points exactly. Randy Arms, Kyle Ritchie tied for second at 1097, and then it's a comfortable gap to fourth. Jonathan Mazzella, 5 points clear of Sam Demien, 6 points clear of Michael DeWalt. Casey Brown, Ryan Tiller, William Price need a miracle of miracles. Zach Scare not here. He's officially eliminated. Nathaniel Landwehr officially eliminated. Michael Davis down in the 12th position is here tonight, but I think he is also mathematically eliminated. So we got 9 drivers, and it's a big if William Price is even mathematically eligible. Even after his win, that just shows you the rotten luck he had in the first 2 rounds. No fault of his own. But you don't have a whole lot of time to get it right. The 4-race dash as we cut the field from 12 to 4. So you think Whitley, Randy Arms, and Ritchie are most likely good if they avoid disaster. But really, we're watching Mazzella, Demien, DeWalt.
I mean, there's no Demien.
Is Demien not here?
He's not here?
Oh, wow.
They just said in chat, work got me in Georgia this week. I'll be honest. Take your computer.
Oh, he did miss last night, but I didn't think he'd miss tonight, too. That's right. Oh, brutal. So it's going to be, really, we're watching DeWalt and Mazzella racing for points. And then Casey Brown, Ryan Tiller needs a whole lot to go right. So it might be just a 2-man show. Michael DeWalt, Jonathan Mazzella for that final spot, and DeWalt 6 points behind for that final spot. 6 points is all he needs.
I think Casey Brown would have to win the race, so if that's not in the cards, then yeah, we are looking at DeWalt versus Mazzella here. 5
drivers for 4 spots. And right now, look where they start. It always works out this way, doesn't it? Michael DeWalt in the 9 car starts 9th. Jonathan Mazzella starts 10th, so it always tends to happen like that.
Yeah, I was wondering where you're going with that. You were like, 9 car in 9th, 41 car not in 41st.
No, just in terms of their 9th and 10th. It just so happens that DeWalt, Mazzella's obviously not the 10, but they do start right next to each other. They're going to be duking it out for that last spot. Art picks to win as we head through 3 and 4.
Can't take Mark Whitley, calling it. So I'm going to take Jonathan Schwartz, P2.
I take the Mark. I'm the Mark Whitley versus the field kind of guy. And recently, he's, he hasn't won. So let's see if he breaks that trend and he picks up his 6th win tonight. I'm going Mark Whitley versus the field again. I think he'll finally rebound.
Recently?
It's been like 2 weeks. It's been a while.
He hasn't been here.
Well, he got wrecked at Dega, and then he lost out on strategy. But here we go. Ready to get this championship 4 deciding race underway. Whitley gets us going. Green flag in the air. As the field of 21 does set out, they're all here. They all gridded up. head off into turn 1 for the first time, looking for some 3, maybe even 4 wide. That's the perfect track for that, already side by side for second. "100 laps." We've seen some thrillers here at Auto Club. We saw our very first race here. Decided in a last gasp fuel mileage race, so we'll see if that happens tonight as well. And already our focus is on the final battle, potentially for that 4th and final spot. Mike DeWalt +1. Zella holding steady in 10th, so that'd be +2 for DeWalt on stage points, and then 2 spots ahead of him, but we need just a little bit more.
I was gonna say we have a little bit to go before we can start talking about stage points.
25 laps in the first and only stage that will give out those valuable stage points. It could be the decider.
So we have seen a race here at Auto Club that was very aggressive, and with, I mean, there's 2 drivers fighting. You can see the same thing happening in.
It's more so that, you know, Mark Whitley, Randy, and Kyle Ritchie, they're just kind of in the do not screw it up kind of thing. You know, they are very comfortable, but you don't want to push too hard and knock yourself out of contention. The pressure's on for Mazzella and DeWalt. They're going to be pushing each other, and we'll see how that ends up. Right now, biggest mover, Landon Quisenberry, started 18th, currently runs in the 15th position. Fastest man on the track that last lap was Quisenberry. The fastest lap of the race so far, 40.63.
To go with those playoff drivers, you're going to have guys like Glenn Murphy Jr. They're probably not going to affect the playoff drivers, but if you have a driver in there trying to get a win, just things will happen.
I mean, Glenn Murphy Jr., we've talked about it all season. Guys like him, Joshua Lott and Jared Lindsay making part-time starts. We know they have incredible speed, but they're here to do one thing and one thing only, and that is win the race. Right now,
you can see Schwartz, he's taking a peek. He's on the inside, joining one.
Battle for the race lead. He got a great run off 4, and that carried him all the way down the front stretch. They enter turn 1 at nearly 200 miles an hour. In the draft, Whitley holds strong on the top side with that momentum off of turn number 2. A lot of single file. Everybody in line. And you know, it starts to open up just a little bit once those tires start to fade. See some 2, 3, maybe even 4 wide at times tonight. Auto Club does provide great racing. Just takes a while to get there.
There's a chance we see it after the stage or coming to the stage. The drivers can stay, you know, clumped up together.
What you don't want to do, if you're Mike DeWalt or Mazzella, you don't want to push really hard and get yourself, oh, I'm 3rd or 4th. You know, in the first 10 laps, and you send a statement, and then you just lose it all, coming to the most crucial point of the race, potentially, with those stage points being handed out. So everyone's biding their time, I'd say. Very responsible. Long way to go. Even if you don't get the stage points that you need, there's always 75 laps plus after the stage to make up for it. With Mazzella, if this ends up the result 9th and 10th, he'll be in just by a hair. As long as he can keep that 9 in sight, he'll be all right.
Yeah, 7 laps in, we've fallen into, you know, I was going to say single file as Glenn Murphy Jr. makes a move on Jonathan Schwartz.
Yeah, these guys are also comfortable racing with each other. They know kind of what to expect. Oh, that's Casey Brown into the wall. Yeah. But while we're all single file and pretty much grouped up, let's crank it up for the first time tonight. This will be a pretty good shot since they're moving up turn 1 at 200 miles an hour. Crank it up for the first time here on YJ Media. Schwartz using that high line, trying to regain ground on Glenn Murphy Jr. He was all the way up against the wall as Murphy closes in on Whitley as well. Just behind them, a little bit of too wide. Randy Arms, Casey Brown. So business is already starting to pick up here, starting to get a little bit more spread out.
I think that little tap with a wall from Casey Brown affected that car, but that's 2 spots down. He's going to lose another to Kyle Ritchie.
Yeah, under pressure here early. Kyle Ritchie around the outside as well. It's the battle for 6.
Is he going to pull into Walt, Mazzella, Ryan Taylor?
And Walt now up to 8. Mazzella tracking him all the way, though, to 9th. So nothing separating the 9 and the 41 as it stands. And let's go on board here. Let's go on board for a lap with Schwartz. I'm just curious. Let's go for a lap here on Auto Club. Pretty straightforward down the front straightaway. Follow the car in front of you, get towed along in the draft. Just curious his line. The 48 right in the tire tracks of the 77, but this 58 machine, Schwartz. Second to last groove on the top, trying to wind up that momentum on the top and get a run down the back straightaway. He has one here. Does he look to take it? No.
Straight into the back of Glenn Murphy Jr.
Bump draft there, working together potentially, but again, on both sides of the racetrack, really working that high side, and he has the momentum on the front stretch as well. Whitley trying to break the draft. Murphy Jr. has a great run as well. He's to the inside. 3 wide here nearly for the race lead into turn number 1. Seven's got a car underneath him and a car right behind him. That top line did wonders for Schwartz. He gets back by Glenn Murphy Jr. Now shoves Mark Whitley into turn number 3.
Yeah, that little battle between Glenn Murphy and Mark Whitley kind of held up Schwartz. He didn't have anywhere to go.
Randy Arms, he's up 2 spots, trying to make it 3 with the pass on Corey Blevins here. That 8 machine moving towards the front. He's had 9 top 10s this season. No win, though, for Randy Arms. Hasn't broken through to victory lane like we're so used to seeing him do. Could this be the moment that he gets into victory lane, builds that momentum for the championship race next week at Las Vegas? Right now, there's the battle for the lead. Schwartz inside of Mark Whitley. Now to the outside. They've crisscrossed through 3 and 4. And that 58 looks like he's just a tad bit quicker at the opening stage here. His tires hold up. He's really working that top side. Whitley down to the inside, gets back by Schwartz. He'll try this crossover move here. Schwartz, though, on the exit. And here comes Glenn Murphy Jr. Schwartz blocking him off. Incredible stuff. Randy Arms right in the mix as well.
I was going to say, Glenn Murphy, he went up about 2 lanes, not necessarily on the high line like Schwartz, but we're 3 wide for the lead.
This is great stuff off of turn number 4. He's got to be careful, though. He stands to lose the most from this. You just never know. And Murphy Jr. back now, almost to 4th. And here comes Randy Arms through the middle, bringing Corey Blevins and Kyle Ritchie right with him. The top 6 separated by 0.6 of a second. Schwartz again going for that run off of turn number 2. Into the inside, pulls way down. Doesn't want to get the side draft. Now comes back up to prepare his arc for the corner entry. Great stuff between these drivers. No one able to break away, though. Draft, very powerful tool here. So Whitley's been clear since the start, and then Schwartz. Ooh, and that is, I believe, for Michael Davis. Oh! This is the back bumper for his trouble, and that puts an end to the battle up front, but we saw that wasn't necessarily the 57's fault. We take just another look at this. That is James Goodwin getting into the wall. Right in front of the 57.
That was a big checkup from the 57. 34 had nowhere to go.
57 checked up because he didn't want to run over the 11, but 34 not able to react in time either. It's just an unfortunate kind of accordion effect there. 57 gets the worst of it. Goodwin. Escapes relatively unharmed, but William K. Price has some nose damage. Convenient for Goodwin to be involved in that, though. Gives himself some airtime, and for his sponsor, big shout out to the 11 machine for sponsoring tonight's race, the Harris Hill Amusement Park 200. Check them out. Got their link in chat coming up in just a second.
Not the way you necessarily want to be featured, but hey, screen time is screen time.
Affordable family fun for everybody. Harris Hill Amusement Park since 1947. How about that?
I understand they got mini golf.
Hey, it's on.
We got some plans.
It gets intense. Let's see here. Looks like the back half of the field has elected to come in. And that includes Mazzella. Mike DeWalt does not pit, and that is going to swing this, I think, in the favor of Mazzella, honestly. He'll have plenty of time to get up and get some serious stage points. He's the second driver on tires. He could very easily, from 14th, get on up there and secure some huge stage points.
If I'm DeWalt, I would potentially risk just the penalty.
Honestly, I mean, it's too late now, but Mazzella, Goodwin, Tiller, Schwartz as well, they're going to be flying on these fresh tires. So this will be interesting to see. Mazzella trying to go for the throat right off the bat. And I can't say I disagree with it. You have 4 total sets. Got rid of the starter set. So you got 2 changes of tires left. But if you get enough stage points, you could kind of offset that. Maybe that longer term loss of a couple spots. So I think that's a good move if you're gonna get up and go for it. I think it'll work out for him. There'll be 6 laps to go, and Auto Club, you got plenty of room to make a move on fresh tires. Someone blocks you to the bottom, you got 4 lanes above them. Michael Davis was able to get out. They did some repairs. He does now again have a rear bumper. William K. Price obviously came in for service as well after running into the back of him. But all 21 cars still on track and on the lead lap. Pace car is off. Mark Whitley in control, and he almost spun the tires on the restart there.
I'll be watching Jonathan Mazzella here because I feel like this is potentially a stage win.
It very well could be. He is the first car on new tires. He already has plenty of speed. Now he's got the fresh rubber as well, and he's already +2. He's up to 11th. Mike DeWalt just 4 spots ahead of him. Look at the run on corner exit. Thank you very much. Here comes Jonathan Mazzella, already up to 10th. He restarted 14th. Let's just keep an eye on him. Just look at how he's going to drive it off into turn number 3. Jared Lindsay, thanks for coming. William Bowman next up. Thanks for coming out. And there's Mike DeWalt right in front of him. Already up to 8th, 1.3 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, it's been one lap.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. Just got to be careful, though, not to get boxed in traffic. Lindsay to the... I mean, look at that. He is going, and he is gone. Mazzella up to 5th. He gained 4/10 in that corner while passing 3 people. Here comes Tiller on fresh tires. 3 wide behind them, almost 4 wide. Mazzella up to 4th. It's a mad scramble between those with tires and those without.
Yeah, so this is going to hurt DeWalt even more. Not only is he losing out on Mazzella, who's getting up there, he's potentially not even going to be in stage points.
Yeah, this is absolutely a ginormous call. And right around the outside, there's 1, there's 2, and can he make it 3? Yes, he can. Mazzella 14th to 1st in 2.5 laps.
He's going to have Schwartz trying to run him down to take the lead.
Do you really?
But right now,
look
it's
at
a great call.
I mean, boo-hoo, you get 2nd. At worst, right? I mean, the next closest car on tires is a 2nd behind. Oh, Glenn Murphy Jr. into the wall. Right, and now let's see if he can hold it. Lap 23, he's got 3 laps to hold on, 3/10 of a second gap between 1st and 2nd. Randy Arms trying to hang on as the first car with old tires, but here comes Tiller, here comes Goodwin. Joseph McGill, the next car on tires.
DeWalt's now out of points.
This is just...
It's not likely to get back in.
This is a huge call for Mazzella. He's holding steady at 2/10 of a second. It's going to be 2 laps. How aggressive do you play this if you're Mazzella? Do you go for that stage win entirely, get the 10 points, and go for the throat? How do you go about this?
I mean, you've got to go for the win.
And they're
2 more laps.
They are still fighting it out. Here comes McGill.
4 wide.
4
We are
wide.
4 wide in the back.
McGill on fresh tires. He went so far down to the bottom, though, he didn't have any momentum wound up in it. He's just trying to find a way through. The top 4 all on new tires. And the gap's still at 2/10 of a second. Schwartz is starting to close in, though. He goes a lane higher. And he got a great run. Mazzella does block him off to the low side, but here comes Schwartz to the high side. Last lap of the stage. Schwartz will have the run out of 2. I think if you're Mazzella, you just go foot to the floor and try and hold this off. He's going to try and get up, try and get up, try and get up. Schwartz cuts him a huge break, and he'll shove him all the way down the back straightaway. And we're still not done here. McGill trying to make up spots. And coming to the green and checkered flag, Schwartz is going to have a run at him. Mazzella got to block low again. Schwartz back to the high side. I think that killed his momentum. In 10th place crosses the line. Yellow is out.
And that is going to be Mazzella.
Oh, that could be it, in all honesty.
I think that is a championship 4 clinching move.
Because if we go look at it, I mean, that is just... whew. He came in on 1,082 points. Mike DeWalt came in on 1,076, so that's a 6-point gap. We're not even going to assume their finishing positions, but that gap is now 16 points that Mike DeWalt has to overcome. He got 13th. He did not get any stage points. Mark Whitley got a handful, Kyle Ritchie did, and Randy Arms came in 5th. So the gap between those 3, again, remains close for the overall lead. And heck, Mazzella's up there now, too. He's on 1,092 points. Let's see here. Richie got 4. Well, yeah, just it's very close now. I think it's a clear 4-car breakaway at this point. But the guts to make that move. I'll be curious to see what they do here, though. There was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers that took tires. And they're going to stay out.
I mean, some of them are. Schwartz is coming in. Tiller's coming in.
Because what this does, you go 28 laps from here. I don't know, though, because if you go another 28 laps, let's just say you go 30. Let's just give it even 30. Let's round it up. You take the restart lap 30, 31. Gets you to 60, 62-ish. Maybe 64. You still don't have enough fuel to make it. So
Schwartz taking...
Like, if you take another set of tires, though, you're going to... Like, you have one left.
You're going to be crying.
Yeah, you're going to be hurting the rest of the way. So I think you just take the pain now, take a set on lap 60, and then you have one more for the sprint to the finish. And actually, that's what Schwartz did. He did not take tires, nor did your top 3. They stayed out entirely. So Schwartz realizes that if he took another set, he'd be super aggressive on the strategy, and he'd run out of tires. So, good move there.
I see a new challenger for the race win. Jared Lindsay was able to get on and off pit road pretty fast there.
Yeah, absolutely. P7. While we're coming around, resetting the running order, get a couple quick words in from the incredible sponsors of the LSRL Xfinity Series. We will get the restart here at lap 30. So that gets you to about lap 60-ish or so, give or take. And then another pit stop will be needed after that. It will be Mazzella, Goodwin, McGill, Schwartz. It'll be Tiller, Whitley, Ritchie, and Lindsay, the first cars on tires.
Tiller did not take tires.
He did not.
No, it's going to be on Whitley. Whitley, Lindsay, and Ritchie.
You imagine Mark Whitley going to force the issue here, try and get some separation finally. Back underweight. We'll go right to the top side with those 4 fresh Goodyear tires, 3 wide immediately. Guys on the old tires, now the rolls are reversed. I'll be careful to not get run over. All 21 cars still running, still on the lead lap. Almost 4 wide again here on the exit of 4. Whitley to second. He should take the lead this time by in 3 and 4. Lap fresher tires, he's going to use them. And look at the scattering down the back straightaway. Jared Lindsay blocking Blevins nearly to the apron.
Surprised Lindsay is still this far back, and he'd be making that move with Whitley.
He could be the one saving tires, but it's Kyle Ritchie, the next car through on the fresh tires. Whitley does take the lead. He'll complete the pass down in turn number 1.
3 wide, going into 1. Randy Arms on the bottom, Casey Brown, Ryan Tiller.
And look at this mess.
Beauty, multi-groove racing.
Oh, and there goes Cade Ferguson. Huge collision. Front end destroyed, race over. Here's the view off of turn number 2. Does he... Oh, it's McGill coming down and hip checking him. And he hits the worst possible angle for Cade Ferguson. The runoff's so big, no caution. He toes in our first retirement from the race.
And we almost had 4 wide there with Schwartz, Randy Arms, and Casey Brown.
I'd say Mazzella actually is doing a nice job holding off for as long as he has. I know it's only a couple of laps, but just with the disparity on tires.
Yeah, right now for him, it's just going to be damage control. And trying to maintain, as we are 4 wide, Schwartz into the wall.
That's asking a lot of your spotter right there to make those calls. And Mark Whitley's laughing all the way to the bank right now. He said, don't figure that out. I'm good. Three wide in multiple spots. Cars in the wall. That was Schwartz. Randy Arms scrambling.
He was almost sideways off the front bumper of Jared Lindsay.
So now here's where the race swings back in the favor of Mike DeWalt. He's got more sets of tires. He can be more aggressive in the second half of the race, but he's in a 16-point hole. He'll pass Mazzella probably this lap, and he just has to hope that Mazzella just falls off a cliff and everybody goes by.
That is going to be the big thing. Is he's got to fall off a cliff for him to have a shot. There's got to be a minimum of 10 spaces between them at least.
At a bare minimum, it's got to be. Either DeWalt gets on the horn and goes up there and wins this race, or Mazzella has a problem.
There's already one guy out.
Yeah, so the floor has been raised, so there's even less points to lose now. And DeWalt into the wall, that's not going to help. Mazzella's giving him plenty of space. DeWalt trying to side draft him back. He realizes he has to make this move, put that 41 under some pressure, and start to drive away. Which he'll do so. And Mazzella's not out of the woods here yet, though. He's still going to be under pressure from a lot of guys on new tires behind him. So he'll lose a decent amount of spots, at least until the next stop, where he'll try to recover. All the while, Corey Blevins through to second, past Kyle Ritchie.
These will have to be a picture perfect stops for the wall. He has to have a top 5, and I believe Mazzella needs bottom 15.
Those 12, DeWalt is 8, so the gap is coming down again. With those 10 points, I mean, that is huge in a race like this. And the guts it took to make that call.
I mean, he started 6 points back. Mazzella won the stage.
Yeah, so then, yeah. Now you're doing the math in your head. Where do I make up these spots? Where do I get those points back? There's no more stages. It's all about where you finish. Keep the 0x for the bonus points. Lead a lap somehow if you can, because Mazzella also has that covered. Didn't even think of the lap lead bonus. That's another point in Mazzella's favor.
Yeah, I think Walt's going to have to dang near win this race.
Yeah, 1 bonus point for finishing with the 0x. 5 bonus points for finishing on the lead lap 100% of the race. 1 bonus point for most laps led. 1 bonus point for lap led, and 3 for a race win.
So he'll need at least the lap lead and that, you know, being on the lead lap and Mazzella potentially going a lap down.
Yeah, if he gets, so assuming it's a 16-point gap, which actually is 17, because obviously Mazzella led a lap to get the stage. So if we're taking nothing into account, because we're both assuming that they'll get, or we assume that they both will get a 0x bonus, we assume that they both finish the race, so those are moot. Right now, Mazzella has a lap led, Mike DeWalt does not. So that's 17 points. Let's say Mike DeWalt comes home 6th here tonight. He'll bag 20 points. He would need Mazzella to finish 22nd.
Sir.
And currently, there's only 21 cars, so you look at the math there. Alright, so DeWalt's got to do even better. He's got to get 5th. Technically, he has to get 4th now, since we're only down to 20 cars. He has to get 4th.
He has to get at least a top 5 and hope that Mazzella goes down a lap.
At a bare minimum, he needs 4th before we can even start having a discussion. Mazzella right now is 14th. He's getting 12 points. DeWalt in 8th gets 18 points. That's a 6-point gap. So he's got to get 11 more points, because again, it's 17 points now with that lap led. So there is a 17-point gap to be overcome. Mazzella under pressure for 15th. But we know that Mazzella, he's got great speed. He won the stage, held off shorts. He's just on a tire disadvantage right now. So he'll pit here in the next handful of laps, because he didn't pit at all, so he didn't even take fuel. So he'll come down, let's see, lap 17, but you had the caution, so in the next handful of laps, probably within the next 5 laps, and then he can start getting after these guys again. So he'll come back up. So it's really, really bleak right now for Mike DeWalt. And you can't really blame Mike DeWalt. He took the conservative strategy, trying to save a set of tires. He didn't do anything wrong. It was just that.
I mean, even if you did, you know, pit with Mazzella, you still have to compete with him for the win. Absolutely. He would make it a lot closer on finishing position, but.
Right, because they were pretty even on speed. I mean, we saw them in that first stage before the caution came out. They were within 2 positions the entire time. So if they both come down, take tires, we assume that maybe they get 1st and 2nd, and there's, you know, it goes from a 6-point gap to a 7 or 8-point gap, and then it's race on, you know, in the second half of the stage. But it's asking a lot.
As the race develops. But I do want to mention more about, you know, the Harris Hill Amusement Park, because I decided to look into it. It is just a conservative 23 miles from Watkins Glen.
Hey, there you go. If you got a visit planned to Watkins Glen later in the season, go stop by Harris Hill Amusement Park.
Like, YJ's gonna start making his plans, all right?
Take the family out.
Like, we're gonna go Watkins Glen, then go Harris Hills, because they got batting cages.
Oh, some batting cages are a throwback now. I'm telling you.
I want to see you swing a bat.
Ooh, it'd be a bad sight. Biggest mover so far tonight. Not a bad sight. It's Jared Lindsay. He is up to 2nd plus 18, and he was a 10th quicker than Mark Whitley last night.
Yeah, I failed to notice Jared Lindsay on the grid because he was sitting in 20th. Or that might have been my pick to win. Also, something Harris Hills Amusement has that David Buster's doesn't have. They've got skee ball.
Oh. I was disappointed in the lack of skee ball. Cade Ferguson not officially out of this race. He is sitting there on pit road. 9+ minutes of repair so far. And here comes Joseph McGill. He was one of the ones that pitted off sequence, so this is scheduled for him, I believe. The gap from Mark Whitley to Jared Lindsay is closing still. It is 0.5 of a second. If you're Mark Whitley, though, if Jared Lindsay passes you and ends up going to win this race, you're like, well, you know, that's unfortunate. I didn't get my 6th win of the season. But it's a statement to your competitors because he's ahead of Kyle Ritchie, he's ahead of Randy Arms, and he is obviously ahead of Jonathan Mazzella. Jared Lindsay, he's just here to win this race, and he's not fighting for the championship. So you're like, all right, you got me. I'm racing for a championship next week. It's all about the victory. Don't count out Kyle Ritchie or Randy Arms. They are within a second. Corey Blevins was in second at one point. He fell back a little bit to 5th, but 1.2 seconds. Casey Brown, he's bounced off the wall in turn 4 a couple of times, but he's recovered to 6th. Quisenberry plus 11. Looking for his 3rd top 10 of the season. And here comes James Goodwin. So these are the stops from some of the guys that are off sequence just a tiny bit. They pitted on lap 17 to go get some stage points. And here is the battle for the race lead. Jared Lindsay has caught Mark Whitley. Passing him is a slightly different story. Let's see what he does. Whitley now going to take that 18's line away that he has caught him. We're also approaching halfway here in the next 2 laps. Will this bring Kyle Ritchie and Randy Arms into it? How hard will they fight?
With how much movement Whitley has there, he really could bring those guys back into it.
Lindsay
going to throw it in.
Trying to get the lead through the shortest way around the racetrack. Whitley going to try and wind up that momentum on the top side. And they'll be side by side down the back straightaway. That is going to allow Kyle Ritchie to close in. Goodwin and McGill have completed their stops. Oh, and Lindsay is pushing, and here comes Randy Arms for the undercut. He said, hey, while you guys are battling and slowing each other down, I'm going to take some fresh tires, and I'm going to try and catch y'all with your pants down. And I love that strategy, honestly. That's kind of adjusting on the fly. You see these guys up here starting to battle a little bit, slowing each other up, especially as Kyle Ritchie gets in the picture. You get a free pit stop and on your way. That's a bold
potentially
move.
Race-winning move right there. Get you out, clean air, 4 fresh good years.
What he's doing with that, too, is he'll split this last stage in half. He's not going to go 60-90. He'll do, 50-75, 50-80. He'll split it right in half. And Murphy Jr. and Quisenberry respond on the next lap. And here comes Mazzella, Tiller, and Larry McDonald. Good entry there from McDonald. He closed up a lot. Yeah, Mazzella, this is good for him. He was able to ride it out.
That's going to kind of lock him into a good position.
Yeah, he didn't fall too far back. He'll be able to actually race for some positions now. And start climbing back up towards the top 10, which is obviously not what Mike DeWalt wants to see. Randy, he comes out just behind your leaders. There goes Kyle Ritchie. But your top 2 still battling it out. Randy's going to have to get on his horse here. He'll unlap himself the hard way. Let's see where he comes out.
He's going to come out the race leader. These 2 are going to push each other. There goes Randy down and around the bottom.
2 for 1, unlaps himself. Because you think about it, they spend 49 to 51 seconds on pit road. It's a 42-second lap, so yeah, I'm thinking Randy gets the lead here.
Gonna have it by a good ways.
And here come your top 2. Who's more aggressive on the entry? Lindsay got it back a little bit.
Locked it up.
William K. Price gonna get a bonus point for leading the lap. Ashley stays out. Short stays out. It is Randy Arms leading now by a second over Kyle Ritchie. A little bit more, actually. Second half, probably 2 seconds. But that is with 2 lap older tires than Kyle Ritchie. So I think even maybe Kyle Ritchie might have a shot at this. He's got a little bit fresher tires than Randy, and he might come out ahead of Whitley and Corey Blevins and Lindsay, DeWalt, Davis. Here comes Lindsay.
Ooh,
It's going to be close. Again, they're battling. But there goes Randy Arms.
They were almost battling off of pit road.
Here comes Kyle Ritchie and Glenn Murphy Jr. Ritchie might have just put himself in the catbird seat. There goes Glenn Murphy Jr. as well. And the reason that I say that is, bring up your handy-dandy pit strategy right here. Your top 3 haven't pitted yet, disregard it. But Randy Arms, lap 49. Kyle Ritchie, lap 51. It'll update this lap for Whitley and Lindsay. They pitted on 52. So Kyle Ritchie has track position, and he's got pretty close to equal tires. So Kyle Ritchie, he could track down Randy Arms and hold off the guys behind him. It's only 1 lap. Randy, with the 2 lap difference on tires, it's like, all right, they might catch him the longer this run goes on. But Kyle Ritchie timed it perfectly. It's only a 1 lap difference. It's not going to be a huge fall off, but he's got the clean air. Let's see if they catch Randy. I could be dead wrong, and Randy could manage that 2 lap difference and laugh all the way to the bank.
I mean, he still has 2-second lead.
I've
Cut
been
down by
wrong
3
before.
tenths that time.
Top 2 still staying out, hoping for a caution, hoping for something. Put it on lap 27, so they can definitely go a couple more laps. They restarted on lap 30, they could realistically get to 60, 61, 62. This will be the battle for the race lead. But let's see what happens when these 4 get together. If they start racing really hard, holding each other up, Randy just got to save just a little bit. And he'll be able to be okay when they catch him. That's another thing, too. They will have the benefit of the draft. They're all towing and pushing each other along in the draft. Randy does not have that. So they will start to naturally catch him just based on the fact that they're drafting as a group of 4.
I mean, they'll catch him, but they'll put in the work to get around him.
They will,
And
especially
then each other.
especially if they start to battle. But I think they kind of realize what's at stake here. And as I say that, Whitley is all over Glenn Murphy Jr.
He's going around the outside.
If you're going to get it done immediately and not have to second guess it. Don't, if you think you're faster, go. Hold each other up. And that's what Whitley appears to be doing here. Murphy will fall back in line. But they're still, the crazy thing is they're doing all this. There's one more pit stop that they need to make. So if they catch Randy and then Randy comes into pit, then, restart the cycle again. Will they have enough time to catch him the second time? Who knows? They got to catch him the first time first. And then we'll see. The top 2 still haven't pitted. And there is second place. Daniel Hashi coming in the 32 machine. That leaves just William K. Price hoping for a caution. That would be monumental for his race as he tries to go back-to-back with Mazzella winning the stage. It does shut William K. Price out of the playoffs, or out of the championship 4. He had to win to even be in the discussion, but that 4th seed, Mazzella with those 10-plus points, it's just huge. And he'll finally run it dry. And have to come down on lap 59, come into 60, right, what we thought.
And right now, DeWalt's not even top 10. So he has a lot of ground to make up.
He'll be 9th once the rotation cycle's out, but guess who'll be 10th? Jonathan Mazzella. Mazzella's doing exactly what he needed to do. Let's go on board with Mr. Mark Whitley. Or actually, let's go on board with Jared Lindsay here. There's your race leader, but here's this group of 3. Glenn Murphy Jr. actually dropped from this pack ever so slightly. So they are going to catch Randy. They're working together in the draft. What will they do when they get there? If they blow by him, then maybe Randy just came in a lap too early. We'll see. Or does he kind of settle in pretty well in the draft? He's had clean air the entire time. We'll see if he filters in. But it's 5-car breakaway. 1.3 seconds from 1st to 5th. And then 3 seconds back to Corey Blevins, who's under pressure from Casey Brown, Quisenberry, and DeWalt. And there is Jonathan Mazzella rounding out your top 10.
Starting to see it more and more that Mazzella has this kind of locked up as him being that 4th car in.
And look at the run that Whitley got there. He was on it through 3 and 4. But Randy took his line away. He said, now that you caught me, I'll try and burn up even more of your tires and try and even out that 2-lap difference between them. He's going to take that line away. And they're all following each other's tire tracks except for Glenn Murphy Jr. working the bottom side of the racetrack. Safe to say that one of your winners will come from this group of 5, as there goes Whitley to the inside. He will not have the momentum to complete this pass. And that'll make him burn up a little bit more tire. That'll bring Richie right back into it. Randy managing this pretty good. If he can just make it to about lap 72, if he could somehow hold on for 10 laps and pit from the lead, that'd be huge, but that's asking a lot.
I mean, he'll be able to get there, like, right on the tail of the leaders.
Oh, Whitley slid up right in front of him. I didn't think he had a shot to be clear. That's like the second or third time we've seen that move from Whitley. Oh, Randy
sends it in, and they're going to go up to the wall.
Yeah, Randy did not appreciate that. Whitley came up right in front of his nose. Let's take a look at what we're talking about here. Here's the look off of turn 2. Whitley way down to the inside. And he slides up right in front of the nose of the 8 machine. I don't think Randy appreciated that too much. He drove it up in there. And he starts sliding up the racetrack pretty much immediately.
I mean, I don't think Randy necessarily wanted to put him into the wall, but Randy definitely wanted to send a message there.
That'll put Whitley back to 4th. Those could be the top 2 in the championship as they head to Vegas. 2 of the quickest cars all season long. But with all that, Kyle Ritchie takes the lead of the race. And he has come on strong in this season. Won at Talladega. And this will be interesting. What happens when Whitley gets back to Randy? This will be an interesting move here. Or if Whitley has too much damage, we'll see. Because they will have to race each other. With the way that the race is progressing, it'll be Randy Arms, Mark Whitley, Kyle Ritchie, and Mazzella in the Final 4. So they'll see each other again. Next week it's for a title. And Randy, despite the 2-lap older tires, he's staying right with this group. So he's not out of this yet. I'm assuming he's just so frustrated with that move just because he's like, hey, if I had the clean air, I could have kept going, but you chopped my nose off, now I'm back in 3rd, and that hurts the strategy.
It really wasn't even that bad of a move from Whitley. He was able to get up there clean. Didn't really, slam Randy. Maybe slowed his momentum up a little bit, but
Whitley's coming back at him. So we'll see. I mean, they've had a couple of tense moments throughout the season. Just a couple. It's been relatively tame, no season long. Oh wow, they're going to be mad at each other, but it's right at the end of the season, so we'll see.
I mean, do you really want to, issue a little bumper justice here if it could come back in the championship race?
Yeah, I wonder if they think it's even now. I think Randy's like, all right, you cut my nose off. I just wonder. Some guys like, all right, we're even now. Like Randy might think they're even, but Whitley's like, all right, I didn't even do anything wrong. You put me in the wall, so now I got to get you back. We'll see. Here it is. Oh, yep, there it is. Yep, there it is.
Oh, and he's gonna put him in the wall. Randy, come on, Randy.
Oh, that's a loss of composure. Yellow is out there. Well, that answers our question. They're not happy with each other.
Oh, no.
Randy thought they were even. Whitley very obviously didn't. And here's the look at it. I think rule number 1 applies here, but Randy comes up. Then you could kind of tell Whitley. He gets on his right rear. I mean, he does not hit him off center. He puts Randy into the wall again. Randy tries to take him out, swings and misses. Ironically enough, no huge damage for either car, so they'll be able to carry on for the most part. Randy obviously gets the worst of it, but it is tense.
And that is... I mean, that's just bad for strategy, too, because it's lap 68. Like, I mean, you could come in.
They've put it right on the edge of the window here with that. So everybody's coming in for 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Full of Sunoco Racing fuel. We would expect to see some double pit here to top off with Sunoco Racing fuel on the next lap to try and make it. Man, this is just... wow. They've raced each other so clean so long, and that's definitely... the gloves are off, boys. It is... It's
definitely going to affect both of them. They both have right front damage.
Yeah. This is a Kyle Ritchie or Jared Lindsay race now waiting to happen. But yeah, Randy got the worst of it. But... the gloves are off, and they will be in the championship race next season, or next week. Next week. I mean, they're like, what happens then? Does it? It's just gonna get awkward.
It's gonna get fun.
Mike DeWalt wins the race off pit road. How about that?
Is that a fuel only stop?
Is that a 2-tire stop? 7 seconds.
That's fuel only.
Well then, that's not going to work. Looks like Daniel Hashey was fuel only. I tell you what, I don't expect a whole lot of cautions in LSRL, but the whole complexion, the whole outlook of this season has changed ever so slightly.
I mean, it could
get ugly.
Be a move from DeWalt.
It could also get ugly very quick.
Yeah.
Like it. We've seen Randy race for a long time now. This is Mark Whitley's first season. Is it over? Like, is that done and dusted now? Or, you know what I mean? How far does it go? Randy obviously had to fix damage. So he'll be at the back of the pack. Whitley had to fix a tiny bit of damage. He'll be a couple of rows up. And here come the guy. You might as well double stop for fuel if you're in the back of the pack. You might as well. They should be able to make it, especially if you double stopped. You should be fine. But if we get a green-white checkered at all, man.
Why have we been said that we were bad at fantasy sports?
Logan Shore, YJ Media, is bad at fantasy sports. You heard it here first.
Are y'all doing poorly in fantasy NASCAR?
I'm assuming that I am. I didn't set my lineup for Atlanta, to be fair, because I thought the race started at 3:30. It didn't, so it's tough.
You're 7th overall in points.
W. Yeah, it's funny to think that LSRL might have another cautions. Oh, we're not done wrecking, but you got DeWalt that's trying to throw a Hail Mary at this. You got two of the best drivers in the field that have all of a sudden decided that it's open season on each other. I mean, it's gotten good. It is all of a sudden just, man.
Yeah, if we can get a caution, 15 to go, I think DeWalt might be the race winner.
We'll see. He's going to save a set of tires. Pace car is off. He gets the bonus point for leading the lap at the bare minimum. So it's back to 16 points now for him and Mazzella. 16 points to make up. Looks like everyone gets through the restart zone okay. I expect Kyle Ritchie to jump out here quickly. Hashi obviously trying the same thing. Going to try and save a set of tires. He just needs to be careful not to get run over. Mark Whitley 13th. Randy Arms 18th. 20 cars on track, all on the lead lap.
You can see, that new grip affecting people. Quisenberry, he got loose out of 2.
Walt needs to be careful here. He's just begging for one more caution and a handful of laps. Doesn't need it immediately. That doesn't do him any good. But coming down to the end of this thing, if he can somehow use that last set.
I don't think anything's going to happen, but Randy and Whitley are right next to each other.
Oh, man, here we go. I think Randy expressed his frustrations. I mean, he tried to wreck him. Whitley put him into the wall, so, I mean, I don't know. I do not know. When do you think it's even? Obviously, somebody's going to feel gypped and jaded, and they're like, oh, I didn't get what was mine. They're obviously going to look at it from 2 different perspectives. Even from the initial move of the race, right? Randy's going to be like, he cut my nose off. Reckless slide job, and Whitley's going to say, well, I was clear. And then the next incident, Randy's going to be like, well, I just got a little tight. I wasn't trying to put him in the wall, and then Whitley's going to say, you put me in the wall. And then that led to the third incident where they both wrecked each other. Right? I mean, it just builds on itself. And
I mean, this is really just going to culminate, at the championship race where it is going to be a no-holds-barred.
I mean, they're two of the best. I know Randy doesn't have a win this season. He's got 9 top 10s, been oh so close so many times. So it's kind of like, okay, if you and Whitley get into a fight, take each other out, then it's like, all right, you get Mazzella and Kyle Ritchie to settle it amongst themselves just because they avoided the drama.
Yeah.
We said at the top of the show, right, for those 3, for Randy Arms, Mark Whitley, and Kyle Ritchie, just don't do anything wrong, right? You don't want to get yourself in an awkward position. And for Randy and Whitley, they have themselves in an awkward position. Kyle Ritchie's laughing all the way to the bank, saying, hey, you guys take each other out, I don't care. And now Mazzella also, he had the pressure taken off of him pretty quickly in this race. Lap 25, winning the stage, getting those 10 bonus points. And Mike DeWalt begging for one more caution in 17th. Our championship 4 is pretty much settled.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not going to be the case. But for Mark Whitley, single car out here, you look at the voice chat that Randy's in, there are 9 total drivers in there. If he needs backup, he's going to have backup for the championship race.
If it really gets to that point where he truly feels like he didn't do anything wrong.
I don't think that'll happen because I think they're going to operate. They're going to be like, hey, it's between you two. Y'all settle it.
Right. This is your issue. I get,
Ooh, Ryan Tiller off the apron in front of Randy. That's going to hold him up a lot.
So as we were doing that, let's see here. What in the world? Oh, they're 3 wide. That's Quisenberry. They have William K. Price as they head off into one. Just a slight contact. Ooh. The rejoin. Oh, the rejoin. So what we're seeing here from Mark Whitley, though, by the way, he's down in 20th. He didn't get a whole lot of damage from the incident, right? He is massively saving fuel in an attempt to make it to the end of this race without having to pit again. Watch him clutch in here. Trying to save fuel. So that's the plan for the 77 machine. But while all of this is happening, Glenn Murphy Jr. is pulling away from Corey Blevins half a second. It was Kyle Ritchie that took the lead on the restart. Glenn Murphy Jr. didn't stick around for long. He was trying to check out now.
I mean, of course, the one time I don't pick Glenn Murphy Jr. It out of
we picked the front row. He was third, so he was the first man out. What's he showing us? And you can hear it there. He cut the engine off. He's saving fuel. So with all of that, if we don't get another caution, you look at William K. Price. He pitted on lap 69. He is the leader of the guys that pitted on lap 69 that double stopped for fuel. You don't get a whole, especially under yellow, you get almost nothing. The one lap that you run around under caution speed, it burns hardly anything. But it just might be enough to where they can save it and not have to save as much fuel, and they can control this race. Michael Davis also lapped 69. Randy lapped 69. Bowman, Tiller, McGill, McDonald all pitted on lap 69. So we'll see how it plays out. We're coming to 21 laps to go. We're going to find out here in just a couple minutes who's got it right. Who's got the fuel calculations, Larry Mack, on the trends of the race. Can you get the fuel mileage nailed on? Here comes Corey Blevins with a run. He's winding up that momentum on the high side. I would love to see a Corey Blevins win. He's always been in contention, and now he's pressuring for the race lead.
I don't think we've seen a Corey Blevins win since, what was it, season 7?
I think that was at Daytona, maybe? But he's got the momentum. He's to the outside. If that was the finish, that would have been Glenn Murphy Jr. by half a car length. Let's go on board with Blevins. He's not saving any fuel. At least there. I'm very curious to see what his plans are. But he is now in the lead of this race. No fuel saving. No. I'd be curious to see when Whitley decides that he's saved enough fuel. And he still doesn't think he's saved enough fuel. So that is interesting. He is 12 seconds off the lead. Which, if everyone in front of him pits for fuel, he would easily make that up. Easily. Oh, Blevins into the wall. It was season 7 was our first season broadcasting for LSRL. The second race was Auto Club. And by golly, that was a fuel mileage race. An instant classic. Looks like we're on course for another one.
Any fuel mileage race really is just gives that feel of instant classic. Especially when we don't know the fuel mileage.
Right.
Out here guessing.
we're just as surprised as the drivers that they ran out of fuel. If you remember, which if you remember this, it was actually the 4th race of the season, not the 2nd race. It was the California 100, season 7, race 4. 100 laps. It was under the lights, though. That was the only difference. It was Josh Lambert trying to stretch the fuel. and he ran out going into turn number 1 on the last lap. The beneficiary of that, the man that won the race, none other than Randy Arms. So, I wonder if we'll get a repeat.
Randy currently sitting P9. It's not looking great.
And interestingly enough for Randy, he was in the same paint scheme.
Ooh, Blevins in the wall. Contact up front. Just a little I happened up here as you were talking. Sorry.
No worries. But Randy was in the same paint scheme that he won that race in. The only difference is he's now in the Supra. He's not in the Ford anymore. So he's switched manufacturers since then. Maybe he gets better gas mileage. Again.
Is he a Chevy person?
So that's just an interesting anecdote from a couple of... That was a while ago.
Ooh, there's a wreck.
And the yellow is out. The fuel mileage race is off. It is Tony Scarbo, I believe, off the racing surface. It is. And all that talk, and we jinxed it. I mean, you kind of figured. However, so that's Michael Davis and Landon Quisenberry here. So let's take a pause here for a moment. Well, that 57 just gets on his right rear, turns him into the wall. Scarbo bounces off the wall, down into the 75 and the 57. And he does a nice job not making it worse than it is. However, with Michael DeWalt is going to bolt on a set of tires and drive like his hair's on fire. Same thing for Daniel Hashey. How about that, huh? And Larry McDonald, maybe? Or McGill. It's one of them, I think, also has a set left.
I'll give anything for Daniel Hashey win.
They're going to have even more laps than what Mazzella did at the end of the first stage. So, it's not over. It is not over. And here we go. Pit road is open, and guess what? Nobody.
What'd you say the bonus was for winning the race?
3 points. Guess what? It's Michael Davis. He was involved in the caution. Hashey and DeWalt. And does Whitley have a set of tires too? There's no shot. Or is he just... He's pitted 3 times regularly. He didn't...
Hold up.
Because if Whitley's got tires, then... that would also be a change.
I'm just gonna watch this stop.
I don't
think he has tires, but
he pitted at the stage break.
I could have swore I saw them put tires on.
I'll be very... he might have saved like a right side or left side, maybe. Let's see here. He's got tires.
Right sides are going on.
Wow. When did he save a set?
I think it was during the last caution, but
It's a 4-tire stop. Wow.
Well... he still has to get around everybody, and Mike Walt.
Mike Walt will have... Wow. I'm trying to think when he would have saved that set. He did not pit under the first caution. He pitted at the stage, so that means he had 2 left. He just took 1 there.
I'm going to assume it was during that last caution, when with the damage between him and Randy. He just got the damage fixed, and, like DeWalt and Hashey assumed there was going to be another caution.
So I'm assuming, right, because I'm trying to remember the cautions here. I vividly remember him not pitting on the first one at lap 17. He pitted at the stage break, and then he went green flag pit stops. So it was the wreck after that with him and Randy that he did not take tires on then.
That I've been saying, yes.
Yes, all right. I finally got there. Wow.
It's very easy math to do.
All right, so the guys with tires. Hashey, Whitley, DeWalt. And that's it. And they're going to have 12 laps to get up there.
Getting through traffic will not be easy.
So this is turned from a fuel mileage race into who saved that last set of tires. Whitley going to go from 17th last car on the outside. Going to have to pass 16 cars. That's actually 18th, my mistake. DeWalt going to go from 17th. Hashi trying to go from 19th. And it's not even disrespectful to say this, though, but compared to these three, right, it is Whitley that has the most speed. But can he get through traffic cleanly? That'll be the big key word here.
I mean, he's going to have one guy blocking the heck out of him.
Yeah. That man is in 9th. But here we go. It's coming to 12 laps to go. We got just a handful of drivers on fresh tires. And the rest of the field trying to hang on. It's a sizable difference on tires though, at this point. Almost 20 laps, almost. So they are going to be flying pace cars off. Glenn Murphy Jr., he's going to get this underway early. He said, we got to go. Let's just watch this for a moment, if we will.
DeWalt was gone early there.
Man, that's not a bad idea. Carbo involved in the most recent caution has damage. He's falling back, but Larry McDonald, no tires. Hashi and Whitley have tires. Here we go, and it's DeWalt trying to pick up the scraps. Watch the difference in speed as they head off into the corner. He'll just drive it in deep. Pick up 1, 2, 3 in one corner. And pick up a 4th on the front straightaway for the fun of it. And here comes Whitley and Hashi. Hashi just going to tuck in behind Whitley. That's a great idea, if I'm being honest with you. DeWalt to 10th. He is 2 seconds off the race lead. Whitley to 13th. The gap between DeWalt and Whitley is 0.8 of a second as we're coming to 10 laps to go. It's Glenn Murphy Jr. from Jared Lindsay at the front of this field. I don't know if they realize that they're being hunted, but they'll figure it out pretty quick. There is a 9 machine just storming down the front stretch.
I mean, there's definitely some communication. Be like, hey, these guys are pitting. Or the fact that even DeWalt stayed out, or not stayed out. He was able to, get out early during that last pit stop. I think, that's been in the back of their minds the entire time.
So there's the DeWalt on Mazzella. And Mazzella doesn't have to sweat this, though, if he just stays 8th.
I mean, he has 2 more cars coming.
Here
comes... not gaining as much ground.
He's into 12th. He's coming. Here comes DeWalt again to 5th and 3 wide. The more cars you can put between yourself and Whitley, that's just going to work out in your favor because they are coming to 9 laps to go. Michael Davis in. DeWalt's up to 3rd.
Ooh, contact between Schwartz and Casey Brown. They're going to open the door for Whitley.
And that's not what DeWalt would have wanted to see. But he'll be stuck here unless he goes to the very high side. They're going to give him that, and he's going to fly around the outside. DeWalt up to 2nd, and he's through to 1st. Mike DeWalt looking for his first win of the season. He has done it all the way up to the lead. Mark Whitley 7/10 behind him. I'm sure DeWalt really didn't appreciate that side draft from the 48, knowing that there was this 18-lap difference on tires. But here comes Mark Whitley, 6/10 clear. And he'll get to 2nd, and then the race is on. Hashi bottled up in traffic. He has made it to 10th, though. And here comes Mark Whitley, clear of 2nd.
I mean, at this point, you got
7 laps to go. There's no saving tires anymore. You got what you got.
You've got to be coming over the radio being like, hey, brother, this means a lot more to me
than it does to you. I don't think Mark Whitley is going to care, though. I think this is a statement from Mark Whitley to Randy Arms specifically. And here comes Daniel Hashi. Daniel Hashi could be on for a podium here. You just got to get through traffic carefully, nimbly. Especially when they force you down to the bottom. You don't have the momentum, but you do have the fresh tires to make it work. So you just got to be patient. You know you got way more speed. Just gotta be selective about it. And he is doing he's doing a very fine job. Up to 6th. Being respectful as they go by. Last lap, 41.36 for DeWalt. 41.34 for Mark Whitley. Nearly identical lap times. Who hurt their tires more getting through traffic? Hashi up to 5th. He needs 1.1 seconds for a podium. His 2nd of the season.
And I'm all here for it.
Yep. Half a second coming to 5 laps to go. I don't know if I don't know that I'd just let Whitley run the top, because that's where the momentum's at. I mean, if you're more comfortable on the bottom, it is what it is. But I think you just got to take his line away at this point. He gained a 10th.
Almost 2 tenths. Almost 2 there.
He closing in on Jared Lindsay. This is also the battle for the biggest move. They're both plus 16. 18-lap difference on tires, though. I don't know how much of a battle it will be. The gap, 3.5 tenths. Coming to 4 laps to go. And Whitley's just going to wind up that momentum on the top. He's going to have a great run. And here's another 10th out of the lead of Mike DeWalt. He's wondering how the heck did anyone else have any tires left. Ashy should complete the pass this time for 4th. He'll set off after Glenn Murphy Jr. for his podium spot. But here we go. Battle for the lead is on. Coming to 3.5 laps to go. It'll be 3 at the line. Whitley is there. What does Mike DeWalt do? See, now you're starting to take the line away. I think you just should have been running his line the whole time, because that's where the speed has been.
And he's not able to even get up there all the way.
You don't think he's, put it in the wall. He's saying, hey, if I run up there, I might put it in the wall, and then he just sails on by. But here we go. He's going to look to the inside here. Actually, I know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to try and go to the wall, and DeWalt finally gets up there. DeWalt not giving an inch. Ashy through to 3rd, blocking him all the way down to the apron. Whitley falls back in line. We're coming to 2 laps to go. DeWalt's going to have to block, but he gives him a lane, and that's all Whitley's going to need. He's going to have to come up off of 4. And Whitley
he's about to get himself turned.
2 laps to go. Whitley to the inside.
I mean, he's running them down to the bottom. He's not going to give him any room.
I think if DeWalt's... Oh, look at the send from Whitley. DeWalt's going to have to pull the crossover. He's going to have to just crank it down to the inside. You can't afford it. He puts it in the wall, but he's still got the momentum. Dead heat, drag race, down the back straightaway. DeWalt now going to send it in to turn number 3. We're coming to the white flag.
He's
going to have to slide up.
Ahead of him.
He's got to slide up. You have to get up there and side draft. You can't let him get clear, but that's what he does. He gets clear on the last lap.
You can't chase him. You're throwing away momentum.
Here on the last lap, DeWalt out of the championship 4. Mazzella's going to finish 9th, but he wants the win for his pride. But look at Whitley through turn 2. Pulls out by 4 car lengths. And that...
made contact with a wall and still blown away.
Is all she wrote. Mark Whitley going to work through 3 and 4 for the final time. A heartbreaker for Mike DeWalt. And Whitley with an absolute statement made as he looks towards picking up the championship next week. Picks up his 6th win of the season here. Daniel Hashi 3rd, and we're wrecking across the line. Glenn Murphy Jr. finishes 4th. He gets nailed by Schwartz. A lot of 0x bonuses lost there, but it shouldn't affect anything. Not 100% sure what that was all about. At all, actually. Huh. That's a new one.
We have to do some investigation.
Mike DeWalt really gave it everything, though. I mean, he threw a couple good blocks. Man.
Okay, so this was just drivers having fun.
Yes.
That fun's still questionable. That 1X does still count for drivers.
It does. Man, what a race. I feel for DeWalt. I really do. It's not... Almost nobody has been able to hold off Mark Whitley. DeWalt almost got there. Look at Hashi burning it down. He saved that set of tires. He got third. He's had 2 top 5s this season. They've both been podiums. Well managed again from Mr. Hashi. Mark Whitley's 6th win of the season in 14 races. You heard from Cade Ferguson. After 40 minutes, the car finally died. He was on pit road just getting a good perspective. What a race. And Whitley backs it into victory lane. The 19th hole victory lane presented by Fuzzy's Ultra Premium Vodka.
Hey, they don't pay us.
In Gatorade victory lane. But it looks like we have our race winner. Here with the winner, Mark Whitley started on pole. And that's where he ended up tonight in victory lane. Probably one of the most eventful races of the season, just put it bluntly. A lot of strategy in the mix as well. Saving fuel at one point, then it turned into a race of tires, and you were one of the final 3 that bolted on that set at lap 86, and that was kind of the race from there.
Yeah, the whole race was kind of a strategy race. Beginning of the race, I felt like I just used the tires up too much there, and thankfully we were able to hold on to the lead for a lot of the first stage, and then those guys bolted on those fresh set of tires early, and you could just tell, like you could just see it, how much new tires made a big difference, and they were able to get back through the field in 2-3 laps. So that kind of set the tone for the rest of the night. I tried to go in a little bit more tire saving mode the rest of the night. It kind of worked a little bit. I decided just to split. If it went green, I was gonna split that last after the stage up into 3s and just divide it up evenly. And I know some other guys, like Randy and a couple other guys, pitted a little short pitted there, and we ran them down from about 3-4 seconds down, and we got to them, and they start, he took my line away a little bit, and it's all fair, you're not just gonna let roll over and let somebody pass you. And finally got by Randy, and then I think he went trying to pull a slide job, and I think he just didn't clear, and he slid up into us, put us in the wall. Was a little irritated about that, so went and just gave him a little bump down the back straightaway a couple laps later, and I don't know if he hit a bump on the back straightaway or he didn't have the wheel straight or what, and it just shot him right, like I hooked him, so I don't really know what that was about. I just wanted to give him a little bump, show him I wasn't really happy with being put in the wall, but after that, I knew it was going to be really close on fuel. I decided to take a gamble and figured just save a little bit of gas, save those tires in case we got a caution, and I was telling my spotter, I'm like, if we get a caution here, we're going to look like heroes, otherwise we're going to finish dead last. So I was really hoping for that caution. When it came out, I was smiling ear to ear, and came through the field, tried not to burn the tires off, because I knew he had some fresh tires too, and I know he was fast. He's always, I've raced with him in other leagues, and I know he's always fast. So, just kind of followed him through traffic and got to him, and then it was just a one-on-one battle, and I was trying to use every trick I knew to get around him, and he was defending for his life, and that was some of the most fun racing I've had in a while, and finally got clear of him, and had to start. Couldn't have timed it any better. Finally got a good run off of 4, come to the white flag, and I think he had just burned his tires off at that point, and we were able to kind of just clear him and have relative smooth sailing. Just had to make sure I didn't put it in the fence on the last lap. Hats off to him. That was a hell of a battle. Like I was told him right there at the end of the race. I mean, that was one of the most fun battles, and just kind of glad I didn't wind up in the wall again, because me and Randy had a good battle going earlier, and like I said, I don't know if he just missed the slider or what, and just kind of doored us, put him in the wall. But shit like that happens on these tracks. Nobody's perfect, so water on the bridge in my book. I'm not sure how he feels about it, but just a great race. Went from thinking I was going to finish dead last to won the race, so very much a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the best races of the season for sure. Auto Club always delivers. It did again here tonight. You've won 6 races from the 14 we've completed. You hit into race 15. not unfair to say that you're probably the championship favorite. You've had a great season by all accounts, all stats, and there's just one more race left to go out and close off the season with a championship.
Yeah, that's the goal when you start the season. It's kind of difficult because one person might be the favorite going in, but I mean, that's the one thing I don't like about these one race championship formats. I mean, have somebody go out there and be a favorite all year, but then you have one mistake. iRacing's internet. If your internet goes out, power goes out, wheel has something wrong, or you just get caught up in somebody else's wreck in that one race, I mean, your whole season's done. So hopefully we can stay out of trouble, have no bad juju happen anywhere around the house or near me. And hopefully, where's Vegas? I think it is.
Correct. That is Las Vegas.
So that's one of my favorite tracks. So hopefully I can put it together. I've had some kind of rough luck there lately. So hopefully we can turn it around and finish it off next weekend with a championship.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win here tonight. Incredible display of strategy, and all the best of luck next week at Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Here with your second place finisher, Mike DeWalt in the number 9 machine. Oh, so close to your first win of the season. You pick up another solid result, though. You come out 9 points short from advancing to the championship 4. Was there anything you look back on in this race and say maybe I could have done something a little different or should have done anything different?
Well, first of all, hats off to Mark. I couldn't believe he went for that strategy. That was the only shot I had, is taking that strategy, keep an extra set of tires in the pits. But couldn't believe he did that. I mean, I guess when you're locked in, you can do whatever you want and take a gamble. But that caution came out at the exact right time for us. Just unfortunately, had a great battle with Mark. He saved his stuff a little bit better than I had. But I mean, I'm definitely looking back on the stage. Mazzella did everything right to go down pit road, take tires, and win the stage. So that really put us behind the 8-ball in points. But at the same time, if I had done that, I wouldn't have had tires at the end to try to race for a win. So, it's one of those decisions you kind of look back on, but at the same time, we got really lucky to even be in the fight at the end. So overall, heck of a battle with Mark, heck of a race. Still really impressed with everyone this season. This is a great roster, great field. You guys did a terrific job with the broadcast. Looking forward to closing out the season strong at Vegas.
Absolutely. Hard-fought result. I was really rooting for you. No offense to Whitley. We've seen him win 5 times before this, so it would have been nice to have a new driver in victory lane, but he earned it. I mean, you were throwing some great blocks. I mean, it was inch perfect. You guys, that was just a battle. You guys both wanted it. And that's a good point. Like you said, if you come in and pit to counter off Mazzella, you guys are pretty close on speed when you were on the same strategy, within 2 or 3 spots of each other. So you kind of tie on stage points, and then nobody has a set of tires at the end. So you're kind of hindsight's 20/20, obviously, but I think you were in position for the win at the end. So I say it ends up working out the best way it could have possibly for you.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure. 9 points short, but a tremendous first season for you here. And look forward to, the only thing left is to go out and try and win Vegas.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, man.
Yep. See you next week. And here with Daniel Hashi, your biggest mover, plus 18. Started all the way back, dead last in 21st after not qualifying. You come home third here tonight. You absolutely nailed the strategy. You were one of the only drivers to save a set of tires, and you got pretty much a free podium. Everyone else just had to watch you pass him in the last couple laps.
Yeah, thank you, Max and Art, for being with me again. That was a great race. My initial strategy in the beginning was having more tires than most, so I was saving a lot. I was doing a good job saving my tires, so I was the last one to stop. And I knew I had 40 laps to do faster than anyone and try to climb for the last position. So this was my strategy, and we had a yellow. When we had this yellow, I had 93% tires at the time, so I decided to not equalize my strategy with everyone. So my idea was to fuel my tank and return to the race with the old tires. I knew I was going to be at the front, but way slower than people with new tires, so I was going to slide to the last position again. So I was seeing also Mike with the same strategy, so we are waiting for a yellow to happening. I was trying to, in my mind, I was trying to in lap 80 yellow. It was very good. I have no idea if 12 laps was enough to pass the whole field. I knew I had to do something different. And then the yellow came. I have way more fuel than I needed. Actually, I have the whole car filled with fuel. I need to have a Xfinity coach, to be honest, because I don't know if this is bad, if this is good, if the car is better, the car is lower. I have no idea. I don't use to race outside our Tuesdays. So when I started, I see Mark also. I have no idea. Mark Whitley has the same strategy. So seeing Mike and Mark with me, I knew I needed to follow them. So they will open the sea for me, and I will follow them to the end. It was harder than I expected. I have the better tires, but it was easy to pass a lot of people at the same time. But I was confident that I would get this podium. So I'm happy to be here again. So it was fun. I did my best to pass everyone safely and in time for the podium.
Yeah, 2 top 5s this season, Talladega and here, and they were both podiums, so that's pretty efficient. Like you said, it was a really interesting race. You had to manage the fuel, and we didn't know if people were going to have enough fuel, and then the caution comes out, and then it's like, all right, who's got a set of tires? You look up, and there's only 3 people that have a set of tires. So you guys had the perfect strategy, and like you mentioned, you did a good job. We were watching, you were following Mark Whitley through the field. He would open up the door, and you guys would go through it. So it worked out pretty nicely for you.
Yeah, it was fun. I like Auto Club, so I have a Indy Brazilian Championship victory here. I have a lot of podiums here too in the Brazilian Indy Championship, and I'll win in an ARCA Community Brazilian event. So I like the circuit. I adapted fast with the Xfinity. I having a good rhythm before the yellows. I always start to the back to practice more. So it's always fun, guys. And thank you guys again. YJ Media, the best in the business. I need to watch this one again. I watched the last podium, and I need to watch that one.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, well earned, and hope to see you back here next week for the season finale.
Thank you, guys.
Here with the Wilder Graphics / Dodge Better Esports Xfinity team, Landon Quisenberry comes home 14th. Had some good speed at times. Cade Ferguson never got off the starting blocks, caught up in that chain reaction. We saw him type in chat. After 46 minutes, the car's officially dead. But yeah, just kind of one of those races. What was the main takeaway? I know, Landon, you were the one that got all the laps in. What was the takeaway from managing the fuel and tires here tonight?
Go with your gut instinct. I joked to Cade and said I should save a set of tires at the beginning, because I was like, I feel like we might get a late caution. And he's like, nah, it's this league, we won't have it. And I saw it. I saw both of them, or at least I thought I did. I thought Randy was the first caution. I was surprised to see him spin. I don't know. It was just a interesting race. I didn't really play into my hands too much, but I felt fast. So, I mean, when you're running with the speed zone guys, you're good. And I was just having fun racing against guys I usually have fun racing against there at the end. I was gonna say shout out to Michael and Skirbo, because I could race around those guys all day and I feel safe. And then those are the 2 guys that I wrecked with.
Right.
So
that's right. You did get caught up in the last caution, which kind of threw the race on its head too. So obviously not your fault. Yeah. It was just kind of a victim of circumstance for that one.
Yeah, it was just a weird one. I mean, I'm not mad about it. Not. It was wounded afterwards, but it was whatever, because I knew I wasn't on the best strategy at the end. So, I don't know. We'll just go to the next one. I'm not sure if Ryan's mad at me for what happened or not. I don't know. We'll see. I hope he's not, because I was the bystander again on that one too. So yeah, I don't know. It feels good to be running around the speed zone guys. When you're running around them, you're doing pretty well. So that's really all I gotta say about it. And I feel bad for my teammate. Oh, and then also feel sad knowing that Joe's out there somewhere still tracking out his refrigerator.
Definitely. DNF last week because of the refrigerator, and then couldn't even show up this week. So it's definitely got some serious issues. But yeah, you had good speed, and then obviously caught up late in the incident, and the strategy was against you. But definitely an entertaining race. We saw you up there early on, and you definitely had some great speed in the first half of the race.
Yeah, it was fun. I thought I had the best line through 3 and 4. I would not gonna lie, and I made a crazy move before the end of the stage. I felt really dumb for it. I was making some moves.
It's Auto Club. You got plenty of room. Plenty of room.
I was adding to the highlight reel.
Yeah, he said he felt dumb for it, but I was following him like, this is what I'm gonna do too. I'm glad you made the hole. I'm gonna fill it. So.
Absolutely, that's good teamwork there. Absolutely, yeah. Auto Club always delivers, and tonight was no different.
Yeah, I guess the only benefit about kind of getting caught up is that I got to see that amazing finish.
You did get to see the race, yeah. It was a certified classic for the finish. So, always a pleasure, fellas. We'll see you next weekend for the season finale.
See ya.
Ready.
Here with the rest of the Speed Zone contingent. Randy, I'll talk to you first, just, obviously. One of the more interesting races we've seen LSRL-wise. I saw you in the post-race hauler with Mark Whitley. What's kind of the general sense heading to next week's championship race?
I think we're all right. We we talked about it. We both seem to be on the same page, and I don't think it'll be an issue. Just some hard racing there for the win, and had some tempers get to each of us, and made some choices that we probably shouldn't have. So.
Yeah, listen, that's the witness of the Randy Arms heel turn tonight. But glad I saw you guys talk it out, and obviously getting down to the nitty gritty of the season. Definitely could see the intensity ramp up. You guys were going for it tonight, all of you. It was a great race out front. We had the fuel strategy at one point, and then it came down to tires at the end of it. So definitely a great race.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty interesting. So just when you thought you knew what the winning strategy was, we had a yellow, and it completely changed it all. So.
Yeah, it was going to be interesting. Obviously, I know hindsight, we had the incidents and everything. But you put it on lap 49, you jump out in front, and then obviously you're battling. What was going to be the plan for the final pit stop, assuming we didn't have those cautions? I know they had just caught you, and you were in that pack. What was the plan to pit, hopefully from the lead again in front of those guys?
Yeah, I was hoping I could hold them off. I felt like I had a really good long run, like the last 10 or so laps of the run. I felt like I was pretty strong, so I was hoping I could hold them off or stay there with them till that point, and try to pit and get a even bigger gap, maybe, hopefully, on the last stop and hold them off, but just never got there.
Right, definitely not for lack of trying though. You do move on to the championship 4, obviously, so I'll focus forward to Las Vegas for next week, trying to go win a championship.
Actually, Las Vegas has been I've ran good there. Haven't finished well a lot of times. I think I did get a win. I don't know if it was this season or last season. Probably last season, since we were racing it for the championship race. But yeah, if I just stay out of trouble, that seems to be my issue at Vegas. We seem to have some pretty good speed, so hopefully we can have a good night, and just have a chance at the end.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be an interesting one for sure, and looking forward to it. Glenn Murphy Jr., I'll go to you next. You are the winner of the guys that ran out of tires.
Nice.
You definitely did not want to see that last caution come out, because you and Lindsay were looking to maybe settle it amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I kind of jumped out there a little bit on he started saving quick, and I ran a couple extra laps and then tried to start saving a tad there. The race was played out so many different ways with the yellows. I felt we were in a really good spot there, though. At the end, I don't know what Jared's situation looked like, how much he was saving, but yeah, I definitely would have liked to have seen it run out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys had some good like you said, the strategy was all over the place. Randy pitted a couple laps before you. Kyle Ritchie was in the mix. He pitted a lap before you guys. So it was all really going to come down if we didn't get those last couple cautions to that final pit stop. Obviously, we didn't get it. It ended up being 3 guys had tires, everyone else didn't. And that was kind of all she wrote.
Yeah, I think I got a bad set of tires on that after Randy. I don't know what happened, dude. I was like way off the pace. I was slow. I couldn't figure out what I was doing. Felt really good there on that last little run But yeah, I mean, overall, it was fun racing with all these guys, and so that's how it plays out sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Jared Lindsay, plus 15, didn't qualify, and came from the back to the front several times, and yeah, it's probably same story. Wish it would have gone green to the end there.
First of all, I just want to say Glenn is the greatest driver of all time.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Okay, I just want to put that out there. Okay, and then second of all, I didn't really know what was going on. I just really liked this track and had a good time. Got thrown a lot of really bad blocks. Hit the wall, I think, about 11 times.
Oh yeah.
I threw a bunch of terrible blocks on purpose. Just having fun with it. It was a good race. I would have loved to have seen it run green to the end because honestly, I think the strategy I had was going to win the race without a doubt. But we will never know. So congrats to the guys that won and whoever made the championship. I'm clueless. So
Fair enough. But yeah,
Hey,
Vintage
we'll
Auto
be
Club.
there,
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. And then Jonathan Schwartz, Casey Brown, you guys round out 7th and 8th. What was your takeaway from tonight's crazy race?
Just a solid, uneventful night. So, I mean, that caution kind of caught me off guard, but it worked out. So to get a top 10, but we'll be all right.
Absolutely, Casey.
Yeah, it was a solid night for us. We were really competitive, so I'm happy about that. We didn't speed on pit road. We didn't wreck. We didn't hit the wall. We didn't freeze. So we'll count this as a win. We unfortunately don't make the points, of course, but we'll keep trying. We're going to Las Vegas, and we'll just keep learning. Hopefully come back stronger next year.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, fellas. And we'll see you guys in Las Vegas next Tuesday night for the championship.
Yep.
Thanks.
Here with James Goodwin, Joseph McGill, Atomic Motorsports. Crazy race strategy-wise. McGill, you were one of the ones that took advantage of that early caution. Got bolted on a set of tires and got some free stage points out of it.
Yeah, that was a great race. James helped out a lot with the strategy on that. We saw that caution, and it was a go for getting tires, and we used that to our advantage, and I was able to grab some stage points out of it. So it's a really good night. Finished in the back there, but that's okay because I think that's my first time in the stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Then 15th and 17th for the team. Obviously, hindsight being what it is, we know LSRL historically won maybe 2 cautions. Tonight was just a little bit above that, so that kind of threw the strategy for a loop in the second half of the race. It turned it into a fuel mileage race, and then it took it from a fuel mileage race to who had a set of tires left at the end, and the answer was pretty much nobody there. Except for 3 people, and that definitely kind of threw things for a loop there.
Without the cautions there, we would have been sitting good.
For sure. James, what's your take on it?
Honestly, grabbing those tires there, and that was I know the stage points didn't mean too much to us not being in the playoffs, but that was fun.
That was good racing. That was awesome.
Keeping up with the other guys, that was awesome, and I got to get the Harrisville Park car up on the front row for at least restart. Yeah. So that was got a little bit up there for a minute. I knew it wasn't going to last. I knew everybody behind us had brand new tires, but got it up front for a little while, and yeah, the cautions were just really unexpected. I mean, props to the guys who saved tires, because I know Whitley was hanging out behind us there at the end, and he must have known something that we didn't, because every time I ask for a caution, we never get it. But
right, yeah,
it's just the way that it goes.
Yeah, exactly. This time I counted on not getting a caution, and of course we get them.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, it's just the way that it goes sometimes. But always a pleasure, fellas. Fun race. Yeah, it was good seeing you guys run at the front. At the end of that stage, you guys were flying, and see you guys next week for the season finale.
Thank you.
Yep.
See ya.
Last but certainly not least, Kyle Ritchie at times tonight looked like a threat to win the race. He ends up P6, but does enough to get himself locked in to the championship for next Tuesday at Las Vegas. Thoughts on tonight's crazy race and what you're looking forward to for next Tuesday?
Tonight's race was really fun. Some of the most fun racing I've had in this league. I didn't expect the caution to come out, so that kind of screwed my strategy. But I'm looking forward to Vegas. It's going to be a fun race. Hopefully, we don't run horrible.
Absolutely. You've really turned on the heat these last couple of weeks and, made it through from the cut from 12 to 4. So clearly you have the momentum on your side. And looking forward to seeing how you can get up there and race with those guys. You looked like a threat tonight for sure. Like you mentioned, the strategy kind of got upended, but you were in that lead pack of 5 cars coming to that last pit stop. Obviously, it didn't get to happen, but you were there tonight and ends up P6. Third place of the cars that I guess ran out of tires, so you can look at it that way, I suppose.
We'll take the podium in that sense, anyways.
Absolutely, but it's been a great season, and looking forward to see how you finish it off next week in Las Vegas.
It has. Thank you. Looking forward to next week.
Absolutely. Realized in all of this, Art, as we're done with our team interviews, that Mazzella was not there for MoFlo, so we did not get to talk to him. But he's had an excellent season. He won the stage. He put all the pressure on DeWalt. He gets in by 9 points. So those 10 points, huge. Absolutely enormous. He gets himself into the championship 4-hill race for a championship next Tuesday.
Yeah, it was definitely, a call. And like I kind of said at the right time, at the time, might have been, him moving on. And sure enough.
He does, but congratulations to Mark Whitley for his 6th win of the season. He'll head in to Vegas as the championship favorite, but obviously anything can and will happen in a one-race Game 7 moment. Mike DeWalt, so close to his first win of the season, picks up another top 10, another top 5, come up just under half a second short. Daniel Hash, he picks up his 2nd podium of the season. And how about Casey Brown in all of this, picking up his first top 10 of the season, unbelievably. But he finally gets
hard fought top 10
it.
too.
It really was, had to work for it. But yeah, your championship 4, Mark Whitley, Jonathan Mazzella, Randy Arms, and Kyle Ritchie going to Vegas next Tuesday night. Settle it out for a championship. All the way down, we had 19 cars on the lead lap. Michael Davis got up involved in an incident early on in the race, brought out our first caution, and then Cade Ferguson as well caught up in an incident, had to retire from the race. But that was the 21 finishers. We head on to Vegas next Tuesday night. Championship will be decided here for Season 9, but before that, next Monday night, Affinity Racing Series action back 8:30 Eastern as we head to Kansas. So Kansas 8:30 Eastern Monday for Affinity Racing Series, and next Tuesday Vegas, the championship decider, 8:30 Eastern. Y'all take care. And right before that, we will also be broadcasting the Wreckfest. That will be Sunday at 7 Eastern. So we'll switch it up a little bit. Got some Wreckfest Dirty League racing as well. So full action-packed weekend and early next week. Looking forward to it. Y'all be there. Have a great week.